One of the unfortunate realities regarding the arts is that some people, even critics, don't realize how cinematic animated pieces can be. Critics, and indeed artists, sometimes forget the techniques we learned about filming also applies to animated works. It is, however, very fun to see when these methods are utilized so well. Let's just get into it. To be clear, this won't be a breakdown of the actual fight, per se. That'll be towards the end of the Clone Wars Chronicles series that I'm doing. I'm really just analyzing the scene itself and breaking down why it's so powerful. For those who need a brush up on this entire episode, Ahsoka and co. have finally reached Maul, who has been vying for control over the planet. At least that's what they think he's trying to do. Finally, after a lot of struggle, they now stand in front of him, able to confront the man for his crimes. We begin just a minute or so into the confrontation. While it may not seem like it, these 3 seconds are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for both the story and our emotional investment. The conflict outside is going to be used as the catalyst to ensure that both Ahsoka and Maul are alone for their final confrontation. But additionally, the lighting hits only one side of Ahsoka's face, and at a later point, her entire body. This drapes the other side in darkness. The background shows the conflict as bombs and ordnance explode, the music softly swelling to make it all feel that much more visceral. This is a really good primer to ensure that we're ready for what is to come.
One of you might want to deal with that.
You should go. Your people need you.
Don't stay on my account. We'll be fine.
Go.
Again, we're being told so much here, and none of it is in the dialogue. The scene continues to push that Ahsoka and Maul are all alone, but let's analyze their demeanor. You can tell something else is amiss. You might not see it, but your brain does. Maul is relaxed, nonchalant about the entire affair. He will become deadly serious later, but right now they are talking about things that he doesn't really care about. He's not concerned about the fate of the planet. Not really. This is about the fate of the galaxy. He is waiting to get to the real discussion. Ahsoka, on the other hand, doesn't realize what's going on. Not yet. She thinks that this is some play for the planet and is concerned about the lives being lost. Well, for the moment. But there will even be a time where all of this loss of life that's being caused by Maul won't matter. Even if it's just briefly.
Look at them. So blissfully ignorant.
Care to tell me what this is all about? Or would you rather save it for the council?
Oh no. You are the one that I wish to speak with. Were you not cast out of your order?
I left voluntarily.
Yes, but you were motivated to leave by the hypocrisy of the Jedi Council. We were both tools for greater powers.
As I just stated, now we see Maul very, very serious. His tone reflects his true intentions, that he really doesn't care about the battle happening below. He almost seems to envy them as they don't know the truth like he does. Ultimately, it is down to business, though, again, the lighting is dramatic. The light only touches one side of both of them. Ahsoka realizes that there is more to all of this and asks what the real deal is. His response is an attempt to build a bridge with her, show her that basically they are two sides of the same coin. She was betrayed by those who use the light side of the Force, he was betrayed by those who use the dark side of the Force. But they were both betrayed.
I am here to bring you to justice.
Justice is merely the construct of the current power base. A base which, according to my calculations, is about to change.
And Darth Sidious is behind it?
He is behind everything. In the shadows, always, but soon, very soon, he will reveal himself.
With your help, the Jedi can stop Sidious before it's too late.
Too late? For what? The Republic to fall? It already has, and you just can't see it. There is no justice, no law, no order, except for the one that will replace it. The time of the Jedi has passed. They cannot defeat Sidious.
I've discussed this in other scene analysis, but the way a camera portrays a character impacts the way we feel about them. Darth Maul is obviously taller than Ahsoka, but the camera portrays them as equals. It never shows him looking down at her. This is so that they both can exude power, and it feels very evenly matched. Had they slanted the camera down when Ahsoka was talking, like what Maul would have seen given his height, we would have been given the wrong impression that he was the one with power, but he's not. Also, and I know I bring it up a lot, but now the lighting is becoming more and more erratic as the conflict continues between them. Sometimes it entirely lights both of them up, sometimes only one side, and sometimes they're in darkness or shadow. It's unsettling, and the music helps to tell us that this is the way it should be. We also see that Maul is absolutely right about everything, but he is still very, very broken. He's not who he was before, just below all of this facade of stableness, you can see the insanity.
But together, you and I can. Every choice you have made has led you to this moment.
Again, there's just so much being told and not 1 ounce of dialogue. I did leave some of the battle out before, and now I brought it back in, albeit a little truncated. I did this because the fight is vital to understanding the tension between the two Force users. There is so much death, so much pain happening below them, but none of it really matters. It doesn't really matter to either of them as they're talking. When you consider, this is honestly the pinnacle of what Star Wars storytelling has been since the originals. A select few people who are important and imbued with the Force ultimately deciding the fate of the galaxy, while those below them are little better than pawns. And others are basically ants that are fighting while the real policymakers are deciding what their fate will be. It's poetic, in a way. We also see, through the environment that surrounds Ahsoka, what is happening within her mind. Inside she is calm, she's thinking, but there is chaos that erupts all around her thoughts. She is debating, she's caught between serenity and the temptation to help Maul. Finally, when the glass explodes and they are both engulfed in shards and embers that surround but never touch either of them, she accepts his madness. She accepts the truth of his brutality, and she makes her decision.
I will help you. But you must answer one question.
You have but to ask.
What do you want with Anakin Skywalker?
If you've ever watched these before, you know that I often discuss script writing and analyze how characters are written specifically. While there are many theories, one of the most accepted and honestly well tested, you see it in all the movies, methods is to ensure that your protagonist is relatable. You can do this by using the 5 tiers of character relatability, as well as fleshing out a character's strength and their fatal flaw. If you can combine all of these, both the 5 tiers of relatability and making her fatal flaw also her strength, then you've hit the pinnacle of writing. And guess what? This is what we are seeing with Ahsoka. Ahsoka's strength is also her fatal flaw. Anakin has been her strength. He forged her. While she won't admit it, she is every bit a Jedi Knight, and it's thanks to Anakin Skywalker. However, this strength is also her flaw. She could not possibly see what he really is. Honestly, what he's always been. And let's be honest, this right here, these few seconds in this animation, in this scene, is the point where every Clone Wars fan is saying no, no, no. They know how the story ended, but they wanted to believe it could go a different way. They wanted her to make the right decision, but unfortunately, she can't. And we watch as things go very, very badly because of it.
He is the key to everything.
To bring balance to the Force?
To destroy. He has long been groomed for his role. as my master's new apprentice.
You lie.
I'm afraid not. In fact, I was so certain of his fate that I orchestrated this war to lure him here with Kenobi, to kill him, thus depriving Sidious of his prized pupil.
I know, Anakin.
I've been ignoring it up till now, but for 3 minutes we see the camera doing something that is just genius. As you watch, as the scene progresses, the camera gets closer and closer to each of them. When we first see both of these Force users, they are far away from each other, but as the conversation continues, the two appear to get closer and closer. This is because the camera is getting closer, not necessarily them. Not only is the perception of them getting closer to each other apparent, we also are getting closer. But as the camera continues to give us this perception that they are getting closer, we are actually getting closer to them. We start at a full body shot, to mid shot, to close up, and then extreme close up of both characters. The dialogue becomes more and more personal. We get to see, right on their faces, how they feel and what they are feeling. The camera has put us right in their grill, and now we're a part of this epic conflict between the two. And as I've stated, we also see her greatest flaw come out. She wishes for Anakin to be the savior of all, to help the light side. But even though we know she knows that's not true in her heart, she can't accept that he is the doom of the universe. At least as she knew it.
I know, Anakin. Your vision is flawed.
I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
And with her inability to accept that, the camera pulls back. They are once again divided, and we see that. And now, with her unable to accept what is before her, Ahsoka pulls her weapons out, as much to defend her against the truth of his words as himself. The fight itself will be covered in the actual Clone Chronicles that I've discussed, probably sometime next year, given I'm doing 1 episode a week at best. But definitely stay tuned for that. I absolutely love this scene, and I think it's an absolute masterpiece. But these are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.
You're lucky Anakin didn't show up. The way you're fighting, you wouldn't have lasted long.
Oh, you have Kenobi's arrogance.
You'll find I have many qualities for you to dislike.